Hello friends, how are you guys today? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. If you are not having an amazing day, I want you guys to take a step back, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and do some positive affirmations and think positively. And I really hope that that helps and your day gets better from here on out. So my name is Shanda, you guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about Britney Spears because she is going to court today. Today is Wednesday, September 29th, and this is the court hearing that we have all been waiting for. So in this court hearing, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. I think they only have 3 hours on the docket, so they're not going to get through everything, but I really hope that it goes in Britney's favor, and I really hope that it'll be a good outcome for Britney and her dad gets removed. So today I want to go through a couple new motions that they're going to go over today in court and just talk about what they're going to do today and what we think about it. So why don't you guys sit back, relax, grab a snack, and let's talk about it. Alright guys, I want to start this video off like every other video and say thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you enjoy this video, but if you don't enjoy it, I really hope that you find it informative and you at least give it a chance. But if you guys are returning to my channel, thank you guys so much for returning to my channel. It really means a lot to me and I appreciate it so much. So thank you so much. So why don't we go ahead and start with what we know so far and what we know they're going to be talking about in court today. So today they are going to talk about quite a few things, but the main thing is Britney's third request to remove and suspend her father, Jamie, as conservator of the estate. She's been trying to do this for years, but every time she does it, it's deny. So this is the third time that she is trying to remove her father. This is really important. Her father has been fighting with her about this, and then he tried to say that he will step down, but when the time is right, and then he tried to extort her for money to step down, and he's just fighting it. This is supposed to be about Britney and Britney's best interests. Not only is her dad fighting what she wants and what the medical team, her mother, the conservator of the person, Jody Montgomery, everybody thinks the best thing is for him to get out of here. And he is fighting that, so it's obviously not in her best interest. So he is contesting and fighting that, and all at the same time taking little punches and jabs towards her and gaslighting her in his motions. It's just utterly disgusting. He is still just being disgusting, and you can tell the only thing he cares about is himself and his reputation. And honestly, right now, I think he's shaking in his boots. He's probably pissing himself right now because he's about to get in some deep shit, I think. I personally, in my opinion, I feel like he is scared. Now, after he was fighting her about not wanting to step down, and he'll step down when the time is right, and blah, 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 he did a complete 180 and decided that he wanted to file for a motion to terminate the conservatorship of the estate and the conservatorship of the person. And they're going to hear that motion today. They're going to hear the motion to suspend Jamie today, and they're also going to hear the motion to just end the conservatorship today. Now, of course, we all want Britney free. We want Britney free. We want her to get her life back and everything, but he is trying to end the conservatorship so that no one else will be able to look at the books and look at what he has done for the past 13 years. The reason why Britney and Matthew Rosengart did not file to terminate the conservatorship themselves is because they want another temporary conservator to come in and be able to look at the books, because if Jamie is removed and he is suspended from being the conservator of the estate, then he has to turn over everything to the new conservator. He has to turn over everything, including anything between him and his attorneys, because anything between him and his attorneys is not confidential if he's not the conservator anymore. So even the conversations between him and his attorneys have to be turned over to the new conservator of the estate. So he's going to have to turn over everything, and he doesn't want anybody else looking at the books. And he knew that it was literally like a no-brainer. They're definitely going to get rid of him today, and if not, then that judge needs a wake-up call or something, or they need to go over her head. But I think that he knew it was inevitable, it was the end of the line, and he didn't want anybody else looking at those books. So he decided, well, let's end it. Let's end the conservatorship now, and that way no one else will be looking at the books. It's just all ended, so I won't have to answer to anything. And him filing to end that conservatorship is literally like dangling a piece of steak in front of a starving lion, because he is just dangling her freedom right in front of her and hoping that she takes the bait. Because if she takes the bait and just says, oh, screw it, I want my freedom and I want it now, I don't care about what happened. And if she takes it, then yeah, she's free, but nobody else has to look at the books. Nobody else is going to be able to see everything he's done. So they're not going to be able to actually, hold him accountable and know every single thing that he's done. So, I don't know. But, of course, it is Britney's choice. It is up to Brittany. Whatever she wants to do, we stand behind her. I stand behind her 100%. If she wants to say, screw it, just in the conservatorship, I don't care about holding anybody accountable. I don't care about what he's done. I just want my freedom. I want it over with. I want him out of my life. Then, okay, we support her. I will support her. But if she says no, I want him removed and a new conservator for the time being, so we can investigate and so we can get justice for Brittany, then I stand with her on that as well. So there's a lot that's going on. They're going to do a lot of talking about this 12th account that Jamie keeps talking about, and who's going to take over this account and what's going to happen with this account. So we're going to go over these motions. There were several motions that were filed, but we just have these two motions we are going to go over that I think are very important. And of course, I don't want the video super crazy long. So let's go ahead and start going over these motions. Okay, you guys, this is the first document. This is just the opening document, and it says here, James P. Spears' second response to Conservative's petition for suspension and removal. So this is Jamie's response, his second response to Britney's petition for his suspension and removal. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so here is the introduction, and it says, as the court is well aware, the petition for suspension and removals is just one of numerous matters pending in this conservatorship and scheduled for the court's calendar on September 29th, 2021. Of all of the matters pending, however, the one that deserves this court's primary and most immediate attention is the petition for termination of the conservatorship filed by Mr. Spears on September 7th, 2021. The petition for termination has the support and consent of the conservatee Britney Jean Spears. It has been consented by Jody Montgomery, the temporary conservator of the person, and as of this writing is opposed by no one. The petition for termination also affects all of the other pending matters. As explained below, granting the petition for termination would render some of the other pending matters moot, including the instant petition, and would provide an incentive for the resolution of all other matters. So he is basically saying, hey, yeah, there's tons of things on the docket, but we should do this one first, because if we just terminate, then we can just throw everything else out and we don't have to deal with nothing. That's what he is saying. But what he's not mentioning is he wants to throw everything out so that they can't investigate him. In the sections below, Jamie will summarize for the court all of the matters pending on the court's upcoming calendar. With the agreement of all interested parties, the court can and should focus on the petition for termination, arranging for the end of the conservatorship as soon as procedural requirements allow. The court need not consider the petition for suspension and removal before determining whether the conservatorship will continue at all. But if it does, the court should recognize that petition has given this court no adequate basis upon which it could rely to suspend or remove Mr. Spears. So he's basically saying here, hey, I want to end this conservatorship completely, but if you don't, there's still no basis to remove me. So, okay, what would your argument be for that? Hey, I want to end it all. Just end it all. She doesn't need this conservatorship anymore. Just end it all. But if you don't get rid of me, because why? I mean, you can't really say a reason without saying, well, why do you want it to end then? It sounds kind of stupid if you think about it, in my opinion. The first order of business for the court, therefore, should be to determine whether the conservatorship will end, and if so, when that can occur. Once that decision is made, all of the other matters before the court will either become moot or should be capable of resolution by the parties. Accordingly, if the court determines that the conservatorship will end, it should order the parties to attend a mandatory settlement conference, or in the alternative, a private mediation to resolve all other pending matters that must be resolved in order to conclude this matter. This court has seen far more complex and contested matters resolved in this way. This is the best path forward if the parties truly desire to act in the best interest of Brittany. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, so he's basically saying there's a lot of matters pending that we're supposed to talk about today in court, but we should just end the conservatorship. That way we don't have to do anything, and everything else can just be thrown out because it's ended. But if you end it, then we should all have to attend a mandatory settlement conference or an alternative private mediation so we can resolve all the other pending matters. So basically, let's not resolve all the other pending matters in court today. Let's just end the conservatorship quickly. But then I want to go to like a mediation settlement conference and resolve them then. Like, what? And this is the best path, and this will be in the best interest of Brittany, as if this motherfucker ever in his life has done anything that's in the best interest of Brittany. Petition for appointment of successor, conservator of the person. On March 23, 2021, the conservatee filed a petition for appointment of successor, probate conservator of the person of Britney Jean Spears. This item number is 5002 on the court's calendar. As the court is aware, Ms. Montgomery is already the temporary conservator of the person. This petition is to make that appointment permanent. Mr. Spears filed a response to this petition on June 29, 2021, and Ms. Montgomery filed a reply to that response on July 9, 2021. Since both the conservatee and Ms. Montgomery are now consenting to the petition to terminate the conservatorship, this petition should be moot. If the conservatorship is to be terminated, there is no reason for the court to consider any change in the status of the currently serving fiduciaries. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm really, really curious to see what Brittany's going to want to do, because he, like, you know, basically he's saying that Brittany is for this, and I don't know what I would do in that situation. Put yourself in Brittany's shoes. Look at everything he has done to her. Wouldn't you want some justice for yourself? Wouldn't you want him to pay for what he's done? Literally. holding you prisoner and stealing all of your money for over a decade, over a dozen years? Wouldn't you want him to be held accountable and to go to jail for what he's done? And all the other people too that were complicit in keeping you prisoner. But on the other hand, you've been a prisoner for over a dozen years. So would you be able to hold out longer to, try to get those people who are responsible for this in trouble and for you to get some justice? Or would you just be so fed up with it and want it to end so bad you're like, I'm done. I'm done with this. Yes, let's end it. I just wish that they could end it and still be able to investigate the books and everything that he's done. Petition for appointment of successor conservator of the estate. So all of these are the petitions and the motions that they're supposed to hear today on the docket. And he's saying all of these petitions, we should just throw them all out because let's just end it. But of course afterwards, I still want a settlement meeting. Next matter, a petition for suspension and removal of the conservator of the estate. Again, on July 26, the Conservator filed Conservative's verified petition for suspension and removal of James P. Spears as conservator of the estate pursuant to Probate Code Section 2650J. And on August 30th, the Conservator filed an unverified supplement to this petition, styled as a supplemental petition for suspension and removal. Jamie filed a first response to this petition on August 12, 2021, and it was full of bullshit, by the way, and gaslighting and taking jabs at Brittany. And the Conservator filed a second supplement on or about September 22nd, 2021. Mr. Spears' second response to this petition is by this pleading. This is item 5006 on the court's calendar. Although both the unverified first supplement and the second supplement contain further argument for suspension and removal, neither provides any evidence upon which the court could rely. So he's basically saying, yeah, there's argument. They were arguing back and forth in these motions about his suspension and removal. And that right there should show that he should be removed. They're saying that there's no evidence of his wrongdoing. There's no reason that he should be suspended or removed. But it's the entire conservatorship is supposed to be for the best interest of Brittany. And if Brittany doesn't want him there, he needs to get the hell on. And also, if he's sitting there arguing back and forth with her, taking jabs and stabs at her and throwing Lynn under the bus and just doing all this stuff and arguing with the other conservator, Jody Montgomery, then you can clearly see that he is just toxic in this all and he needs to get the hell out. Now, he talks about the 12th account, current and report of conservator. On August 10th, 2020, Jamie filed his 12th account current report of James P. Spears, conservator of the estate, petition for its settlement and for approval thereof for the period from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. This is item 5001 on the court's calendar. The Conservator filed an objection to this petition through her former court-appointed counsel on November 6, 2020. And Jamie filed a response to that objection on December 11th, 2020. Notice of this petition has been given and the petition is at issue. Okay, pending fee petitions. On March 26, 2021, Sam Ingham, former court-appointed counsel for Brittany, they keep calling her the Conservator, but I'm gonna call her Brittany, damn it, because she's Brittany, bitch, and that's what I'm calling her. Okay, Brittany filed 3 separate petitions for approval of his fees for 2019, 2020, and 2021, and a separate petition for approval of lobe and lobe fees. These are item numbers 5008, 5009, and 5010 and 5011 on the court's calendar. As the probate notes indicate, there are several matters to be cleared, and these petitions should be deferred pending clearing of the notes. Number 11, on March 26, 2021, Mr. Spears filed a petition for order allowing approving payment of 1, compensation to conservator and attorneys for conservator. Of course he did. Of course he filed a petition allowing and approving all the payments of his own lawyers by Brittany's money. He doesn't want to have to pay for his own lawyers. Like, how fair is it for Brittany to have to pay for lawyers to fight against her and keep her prisoner? That's so awesome. So great. What a great system here. Number 2, reimbursement of costs. This is item 5012 on the court's calendar. Yeah, he wants reimbursed and he wants his legal fees paid. That's just great. Great, great, great. An objection to this petition was filed on April 19th, 2021 by Lynn Spears, and a response to this objection was filed by James on April 26th, 2021. So an objection to all these costs was filed by Lynn on April 29th, 2021, and a response to that objection was filed by Jamie on April 26, 2021. So basically, Lynn tried to stand up and say, whoa, no, this is bullshit. Brittany shouldn't have to pay for Jamie to do this stuff to her. Brittany shouldn't have to pay for all of his legal fees. Brittany shouldn't have to pay for all his lawyers doing this media tour to make him look good in the public eye. Brittany shouldn't have to pay for all that. And so she objected, but then of course, Jamie filed a response to that objection. The probate notes also indicate that this matter should be deferred for the clearing of notes. So, yeah, basically, if the conservatorship is terminated, then we should just throw that out too, and Brittany shouldn't get her money back for that. I made Brittany pay for all my legal fees, and she shouldn't get her money back, and I shouldn't have to pay her back. Because this is over now, so. Really? On March 29th, 2021, Jody Montgomery filed her petition for order allowing and approving payments of compensation to temporary conservator of the person and her attorneys. This is item 5005 on the court's calendar. The probate notes also indicate that notes need to be cleared. Item G, other pending matters. On June 29, 2021, Jamie filed a petition for instructions and order investigating issues and claims raised by Britney Spears on the June 23, 2021 hearing. Okay. So he says, this is item 5004 on the court's calendar. A response to this petition was filed by Ms. Montgomery on July 12th, 2021, and July 7th, 2021, Ms. Montgomery filed an ex parte petition for an order authorizing and instructing conservators of the estate to pay for her additional security expenses. We talked about that as well. This is item 5007 on the court's calendar. Jamie filed a response on July 8th. There were 2 additional hearings solely as to this matter on July 19th and 26th. Jamie indicated that he would withdraw his response if Brittany consented to Ms. Montgomery's request. So far as Jamie is aware, Brittany, through her counsel, has not consented. So basically, I mean, yeah, Brittany shouldn't have to pay for that, I don't think. But basically what he is saying is, I want Brittany to pay for all my attorney fees and all the media matters and everything for me, pretty much, but she shouldn't have to pay for extra security for Jody. No, no, no. Nobody gets Brittany's money but me. That's what that sounds like to me. Just saying. All right, item number H. Item H. Late filed petition for appointment of temporary conservator. On or about September 21st, 2021, Brittany filed an ex parte application for good cause exception to notice of hearing on petition for appointment of temporary conservator, and 2, a petition for appointment of temporary conservator. The petition for appointment of temporary conservator is item number 5014 on the court's calendar. The probate notes indicate potential notice issues, so a continuance to clear notes may be necessary. But if the petition for termination of the conservatorship is granted, this petition should be dismissed without prejudice as moot. If the petition for termination remains unopposed, it should be given priority over all other matters. He already pretty much said this earlier. All of the matters pending before the court will have to be resolved one way or another. Some may be moot and could be withdrawn. Others may require further dialogue as addressed below. But the matters requiring the court's primary and immediate attention is for the petition for termination of the conservatorship. If the conservatorship is going to end, this court should not be spending its time and resources evaluating who should be the conservator of the person of the estate, and neither should the parties. So he's trying to act like he gives a shit about the court's valuable time and resources. Yeah. As Mr. Spears described in his petition for termination of the conservatorship in her statements to the court on June 23rd, 2021 and July 14th, Brittany begged this court to end her conservatorship. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And you didn't care until you were about to get caught and have to own up to some shit. And then you're like, oh, let's end it. She made this plea over and over. For this and other reasons outlined in the petition for termination, Jamie filed his petition so the court could give Brittany's pleas the consideration they deserve. Oh, please. Stop acting like you give a shit. Just stop. This is solely to save his own ass, in my opinion. Do I have to say that? I don't know. Brittany, through her counsel, has now consented to the relief request and has Miss Montgomery the temporary conservator of the person. By placing the petition for termination on the calendar, even though it was initially set for the hearing on January 28th, 2022, this court has recognized the effect it has on all other matters and the importance of giving it priority. Before spending time and resources litigating whether the temporary conservator of the person should be permanent, or whether the current conservator of the estate should be removed, or who would be appointed as the successor, the court should first decide whether conservatorship will continue at all. If the decision is made to end the conservatorship, then the conservatorship should end, and the court should direct the parties to devote their resources to resolve all of this remaining matters that must be resolved. Keep going. The petition has not provided this court with any adequate basis for the suspension or removal of Jamie. He's still saying this, by the way. To be clear, the court should not suspend Mr. Spears as conservator of the estate. The circumstances do not warrant such drastic action. Really? And the court has not been provided with an adequate basis to do so. The petition for suspension and removal relies upon two accompanying declarations from Jody Montgomery and from Lynn Spears. The problems with the declaration from Lynn Spears were addressed in Jamie's first response to the petition, where he just threw her under the bus and kept taking jabs at her. Jody has also provided a declaration and has filed a joiner in support of the petition, but as discussed below, these are similarly flawed. Ultimately, Ms. Montgomery has provided nothing upon which this court could properly rely to suspend or remove Jamie as conservator of the estate. Yeah, there's no reason for any drastic measurements like that to remove him. That's too drastic. There's no reason to do that. Did you guys see the Controlling Britney Spears on Hulu, the part 2 that they made? Did you guys see that? That was insane. I want to talk about it a little bit later, but the guy from Black Box Security came out and spoke out and said how they literally had Britney's iPhone that they gave her. Every single thing that she did on her iPhone was put in a certain cloud, and they could read it on an iPad. So any texts, any conversations with her lawyer, any phone calls, any browser history, any pictures, anything she did, they could see everything. She had no privacy. Not only that, but they also bugged her house and her bedroom so they could listen to private conversations with her boyfriend and her children. The federal government can't even do that. And they tried to get this guy who spoke on this Controlling Britney Spears. They told him to erase this, get rid of all traces of it, and he made a copy. Yeah, he made a copy. So why do we think they're trying to get this conservatorship to end as quick as they can? They should be in jail for that. The federal government can't even do that without tons of hoops to go through and warrants and stuff. I cannot believe what that guy was saying. I can't believe they did that. I mean, I can, but they need to pay for what they've done to her. Brittany deserves justice. Miss Montgomery also claims to have observed dynamics at play between Jamie and his daughter that are not psychologically healthy and supportive of Brittany and her mental condition. But Jody provides no factual support of this bald assertion. She fails to provide any specifics about the conduct she claims to have observed, or any indication of when she claims to have observed such dynamics at play, end quote. In fact, Miss Montgomery has not observed any direct interaction between Jamie and Brittany for at least a year and a half since Jamie has been prevented from seeing his own daughter. Moreover, even if she had observed any recent dynamics between Jamie and his daughter, Ms. Montgomery lacks the credentials and expertise necessary to offer any opinion regarding Brittany's mental condition or what interactions might be psychologically healthy for her. Ms. Montgomery is not a medical professional, and this court cannot rely on her unfounded medical opinion. He says Jody also offers this court her lay opinion that Jamie should be removed as conservator of the estate without providing any explanation or factual basis for that opinion. But Jody also exposes her own bias, stating her, quote, strong opinion and recommendation that conservators not be family members, end quote. This court, of course, has found to the contrary consistently in this proceedings for 13 years. During that time, the one steadfast protective presence in the life of Brittany has been her father. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Decisions regarding the appropriate conservators of both the person and the estate must be made based primarily on established facts. Expert opinions are sometimes appropriate, but lay opinions are not. This court simply cannot rely on Jody's declaration, to which Jamie objects. Moreover, it is worth noting that for 13 years, during the entire course of this conservatorship, probate investigators have conducted regular and reoccurring investigations based on interviews with numerous individuals, including medical professionals. In all that time, to the best of Jamie's knowledge and belief, not a single medical professional nor the report of a single probate investigator has recommended that Jamie's presence as conservator was harming Brittany, or that he should be replaced as conservator of the estate, given the long history of Jamie's service and the consistent results of probate investigations. This court simply cannot rely on Jody's unfounded statements without further direct inquiry. I just can't believe this nonsense. He is literally sitting here saying that the only thing they should even consider tomorrow is terminating this conservatorship. But if you don't get rid of me, because he needs, Jamie's livelihood is like resting on either the conservatorship ending or them not suspending him. That is what his livelihood is resting on. If they end the conservatorship, he can take a breath. He probably can get away with a lot. If they don't end it and they keep him on, he doesn't have to share the books with anybody, with any new fiduciary, with any successor. He doesn't have to share his confidentiality between him and his attorneys. He doesn't have to endure that investigation. He doesn't have to do any of those things. But so like he's literally acting in this whole motion, this whole petition, he is literally acting like he just wants the best for Brittany. And Brittany stated she wanted this all to end, so that is what we need to do right now. Where the hell have you been, dude? Who are you and where have you been? Because she's been wanting this to end for 13 years, and you didn't care then. But now the cat's coming out of the bag, literally, and you're scared. You're scared, and you don't want anybody else looking into what you've done. Last but not least, the court should order the parties to attend a mandatory settlement conference or a private mediation to resolve all of the other pending petitions. So in other words, let's not solve any of it in court. Let's hurry up and get this conservatorship to end so I don't get in trouble, but I still want what I want. So that is Jamie's petition. Like all the other ones, it is ridiculous. A bunch of bullshit and gaslighting, and I'm just so sick of this monster. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and get through Britney's petition. Now, this is Britney's petition. It says, Conservatee Britney Spears, third supplement to petition for suspension and removal of James P. Spears as conservator of the estate pursuant to Probate Code Section 2650J. So let's go ahead and get started with her petition. And here is her introduction. It says, Britney Spears has presented, and the record is replete with overwhelming evidence mandating the immediate suspension of James P. Spears by no later than September 29th, 2021. As Brittany has demonstrated under Probate Code Section 2650J, although serious questions abound, Brittany's need not prove that Jamie has engaged in negligence, faithlessness, gross immortality, or other misconduct, nor does Mr. Spears have to acknowledge culpability. The only issue under this section 2650J is whether under this court's broad discretion, suspension is in the best interest of Britney Spears. The only fair and just answer is, of course, yes, indeed. This relief can even be granted sua sponte. I don't know that word. I'm sorry. And it is equally clear that this must happen by no later than September 29th, 2021. Now, it's funny to me because we just went through Jamie's petition, and of course he said we shouldn't do anything, we just need to get rid of. But at the end he says there's no basis to get rid of me, and that's what he keeps saying in all of his responses. There's no basis to get rid of me. And what Matthew Rosengart keeps saying constantly over and over, because Jamie can't get it through his thick head, is we don't need to prove negligence. We don't need to prove anything to get you out of here. It is under Section 2650J, that whether is it the best interest of Brittany to get you the hell out of here? And yes, it is. She doesn't want you here. She's tried to get rid of you several times. She doesn't want you. You're causing more harm than good to her. She doesn't want you around. That's that. There should be no other question about it. Nothing. They don't have to prove shit. So him saying, well, they have no basis to get rid of me. I'm going to stay because they shouldn't get rid of me because they don't have any evidence. They don't need any. This code right here says they don't need evidence. As long as Brittany doesn't want you here, you need to go. It's like he's so stupid he can't understand that. Okay. Brittany's petition and supplements present numerous reasons why Jamie's immediate suspension is in Brittany's best interest, including, first and foremost, Brittany's own powerful testimony. The court and the world heard that testimony, and we need repeat it herein. Suffice to say, Brittany's testified to the abuses inflicted by her father, as well as his cruelty and how he stripped her of her dignity. Brittany wants and obviously deserves a full life and all that entails, including the restoration of basic rights and civil liberties stripped away by Jamie Spears. The record is also clear that Brittany will not work while her father remains a conservator, and that every day that goes by with him as conservator, every day and every hour, is one in which he causes his daughter anguish and pain. Every hour, every minute, every second that he is around is causing her more anguish and more pain. Worse, Jamie knows this. He knows his toxic presence is harming his daughter on a daily basis. He knows his suspension is in his daughter's best interest. Under Section 2650J, he has now even expressly conceded in his petition for termination that no conservator of the estate is necessary, and hence that he is not necessary. Exactly. That is exactly what I said. Like, how can you say she doesn't need one, but if you keep it, then don't get rid of me, though, because I have to be here, but she doesn't need one. Like, what? Yet, for what can only be self-serving reasons, Jamie still seeks to linger to the retirement of his daughter and the estate, specifically in his second response to Brittany's petition for suspension, even as he acknowledges that the conservatorship must be wound down and terminated. He seeks a private mediation or, quote, settlement. What he really seeks is more delay, which after more than a decade is simply intolerable. As we have stated previously, Brittany will no longer be bullied or extorted, nor will she further tolerate her father's abuse with its apparent misogynistic underpinnings. As we have also stated, Brittany rejects her father's self-interested efforts and settlement and maintains and pleads that regardless of when the conservatorship ends, Jamie must be suspended now. Jamie was, of course, never fit to serve, for all of the many compelling reasons already contained in the record, ranging from his lack of financial acumen, to his bankruptcy, to his reported alcoholism, to the trauma he caused his daughter since her childhood, to the domestic violence restraining order recently issued against him, where he can't even go around Brittany's sons. But now, the chickens have truly come home to roost. I love that. The chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher. You've reaped your selfish ways. Okay, I'm done.
The chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher. You reaped the fruit of your selfish ways.
I'm sorry. Okay. The chickens have truly come home to roost. In its September 24, 2021, front page bombshell exposed entitled Security Firm Secretly Tracked and Recorded Spears for Years. Even bedroom is said to have been bugged. The Times reported that Jamie engaged in horrifying and inconceivable invasions of his adult daughter's privacy. Specifically, the Times reported that he and others, quote, ran an intense surveillance apparatus that monitored Britney's communications and also evidently captured attorney-client communications with her prior lawyer, which communications are sacrosanct part of the legal system. Sacrosanct, sorry. Even more shockingly, the Times reported that Jamie and his cohorts secretly captured audio recordings from her bedroom, including private conversations with her children. Now let's look at this footnote here. It says, Jamie also presumably knows that when he is suspended, he must turn over the conservatorship files, including purported attorney-client privilege document to the new temporary conservator. Successor fiduciary became holder of the privilege of all communications between fiduciary and his counsel regarding the estate whenever they occurred, because fiduciary is holder of the attorney-client privilege in his or her capacity as such. Ooh. This is what I said earlier. He'll have to give everything between him and his lawyer up. Successor fiduciary becomes the holder as to confidential communications between predecessor fiduciary and attorney concerning trust admissions. Needless to say, the sooner the complete files are turned over for review, the sooner complete objections to Jamie's accountings and pending petitions for fees can be finalized and adjudicated at an evidentiary hearing in the future. Jamie has crossed unfathomable lines. While there are not evidence, the allegations warrant serious investigation, certainly by Brittany, as, among other things, California is a two-party consent state, meaning that Brittany and Jamie would both have to agree to him recording her all the time. And I really don't think Brittany would agree to that. And even if she did, the attorney-client privilege that they recorded, supposedly, between her and her court-appointed attorney, Sam Ingham, that is illegal as well. As a result of these deeply disturbing allegations, Jamie will inevitably be focused over the next several days and weeks on defending his own interests, not his daughter's, yet again. And regardless of the outcome of the allegations, what cannot be genuinely disputed is how deeply upsetting they are to Brittany, and if nothing else, they magnify the need to suspend Jamie immediately. To be clear, his suspension will not impede the ultimate termination of the entire conservatorship, as Jamie will be required during the transition to work with his temporary successor. The only thing Jamie will lose is something he should not have ever had, the ability to further harm his daughter. Yes. Boom. Matthew Rosengart is just coming in swinging, man. He's kicking ass. Against this backdrop, Jamie claims that there is, quote, no adequate basis to suspend him. Now this legally and factually preposterous. Indeed, he should be ashamed to make that argument, which does not merit response, other than respectfully commending the court to Brittany's testimony and the record, case law, and the other legal authorities already cited in our prior petitions, all of which overwhelmingly mandate suspension now under Section 2650J that he keeps referencing. Finally, and again, as Brittany has previously made clear, she emphatically consents to termination of the conservatorship in its entirety this fall, as it is formally wound down. In the meantime, as set forth in the second supplement to the July 26th petition, Mr. Spears must be suspended. The parties do appear to agree that the accounting and fee issues can and should be set for hearing at the court's convenience at a separate hearing in the future after Jamie responds to the discovery propounded on him in August, and also answers questions under oath at his deposition. They want to depose him. They want to sit his ass down on that stand and ask him a bunch of questions under oath, and they want him to answer those questions under oath. So after he does that, is what they're saying. Even assuming Jamie were to invoke the Fifth Amendment at his deposition, there are questions he still would be required to answer, which would inform the court's decision on these accounting and financial issues at an evidentiary hearing in the future. Relatedly, the mere invocation of the Fifth Amendment would be highly illuminating and would also permit the court or jury to draw an adverse inference based upon that invocation. So let's go back and look at this footnote down here. Now this says to protect the right of privacy by, among other things, required that all parties consent to a recording of the conversation. And that is just the two-party state thing. So it's individuals who were injured by a violation of CIPA may file a civil action against the perpetrator to recover monetary penalties of $5,000 per violation or 3 times the actual damages. So basically, him recording her like that, Brittany. Okay, and here is the conclusion. This says, Brittany submits respectfully that her father's efforts to confuse the issues and seek further delay must be rejected. They are, in fact, a subterfuge designed to avoid the stigma of being suspended and its consequences, including the likelihood of disgorgement and rejection of outstanding of legal fees, sustained objections to the pending accounting, the transfer of files, and other remedies. So, in short, we respectfully submit that based upon fundamental legal principles, including what is indisputably in Brittany's best interests, the path forward is clear. Jamie's latest efforts at delay must be rejected. He must be suspended on September 29th, followed by the prompt termination of the conservatorship. Boom. So they are saying yes, they do want to suspend the conservatorship, but they want to get Jamie's ass the hell out of there tomorrow, today. They want to get him out of here today and then terminate the conservatorship. And they want to do it that way because they want to see what the hell he's been doing. Okay, you guys, so those are the 2 motions that I wanted to go over, and that is everything that is supposed to happen today in court. And I did want to talk a little bit about the new Controlling Britney Spears documentary that came out, that the Times did. It is on Hulu. If you have not watched it, I suggest you watch it. It was mind-blowing. I couldn't believe what that guy from Black Box Security was saying. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but I already spoke about that when we were reading through the motion. But yeah, so Brittany goes to court today, and I just wish the best for her. I am sending her positive energy and hopeful energy, just sending happy thoughts, and I really hope that things go her way. I really hope that things go her way in the order that she wants them to go in. And I really hope that Brittany gets free soon and she gets justice. I really hope that she gets justice for what she has been through. Other than that, you guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It really, really helps so much. And I wanted to take a minute again and say thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and watching this video. I really appreciate it. I absolutely love so much to do like research about topics that I'm passionate about, and I love making content for you guys. And I love it so much. It makes me feel so good that you guys actually like to watch my videos, and just thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Other than that, you guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You know you want to. I would love to have you guys in the family, and don't forget to click that bell for all notifications so you don't miss any video that I post. Other than that, you guys, I will be back later on to let you know what happened at court. I am going to be keeping a close eye on it, watching the live stream and everything like that. So I will let you guys know right after what happened in court, everything that happened, and I just wish Brittany luck. So everybody, wish Brittany luck today. Send her some good and positive energy. And remember, guys, in a world where you can be anything, please just be kind to each other, guys. I will see you soon. Love you guys. Bye.